So we've really covered a lot here for clinical trials, but I think this is a very important question for patients that are considering participating in a clinical trial. So, if a patient decides to participate in a liver cancer clinical trial, how will their safety be protected?
A great point. And if anything, very important question and very important answer. Please, we reassure our patients that this is a very highly regulated and highly regimented process. Number one, and most importantly, the safety and the privacy of the patients are highly regulated and actually governmentally driven. When you have a patient consenting to a clinical trial, we go through the process, exactly as we mentioned before. It's ultimately the decision making of the patient themselves. We'll support them, we'll respect whatever decisions they make. We will never see, and we should never see any coercion into trying to get on a clinical trial. Point number two is once a patient is on clinical trial, this is totally private information, i.e., this will never shared, it will not be celebrated, it will not be really stated out in any way that will really state the patient privacy information in any way. Ultimately, if there's any information that come out of the clinical trial, it will be all probably published, but all in anonymized fashion. Nobody will ever know who's who in that regard. Actually, even the sponsors will never know who's the patient. Will probably have a sequential number or something of that nature, but they will never know who's who. And as such, patients are totally protected by their physician and the custody that they entrusted on the institution or the clinic where they are being taken care of. With this said, if anything emerged from the clinical trial that's of really critical safety concern, of course, patient will be reached out to. And number two, of course, if any important good news in regard to the study, let's say it's completed and it's done, of course, we have a courtesy to review to the patients. What I like the most is that patients should really always value that they are protected because they have representative of the patients and their loved ones on any research board. As we know, clinical trials will go through many processes, the last one of which called the Institutional Research Board, where really we're looking into, is there a merit? Is there any benefit and risk? Are we hurting patients? Are we benefiting patients? And how can we protect the privacy of the patients? All those boards will have a patient or somebody related to a patient who are sitting on those boards as a member of that board. So you really have representation there as well. And I love the most important thing, which is nice to end up this piece on, is it's really very touching when any of our colleagues, including ourselves, and we really led many clinical trials worldwide, come to the podium of some big national meeting or international meeting, and the last thing we say, we're very grateful for their patient and their loved one for contributing to that study. And this is really a true acknowledgement how much if there's a teamwork component between the patient and their physicians and the doctors.